Hi, this is Mans from Quest for a Farm. Today we are processing pumpkin. Again, we got a lot of pumpkin. So I've already shown you in previous videos how to process the pumpkin, chop it up, peel it, and put it in the freezer. We've had a discussion about some of the different types of pumpkin. So today I am going to be making pumpkin powder. So what you use pumpkin powder for is if you have soups or stews or anything that you want a little bit of flavor in, or alternatively you can reconstitute it with just a little bit of water and cook it up as sort of pumpkin mush. I'm not very keen on that kind of mushy, really ground down pumpkin, so I prefer it roasted or whatever, but always good to have on hand, especially when times are a little bit uncertain and prices are going up. I mean, you'll eat what you gotta eat, right? So first, I peeled the pumpkins, took the guts out. I'm going to do another video on what we do with the pumpkin seed, so keep an eye for that. Hit the like and subscribe button so that you don't miss it, and then we'll carry on with these. So what I'm going to do with these is, and you can see I sort of cleaned them, but not amazingly well, and I've given them a rinse. So now I'm going to fill this with water and pop them on the boil. They are going to boil for 45 minutes to an hour until they're fork tender. And okay, we are about an hour later, and as you can see, our pumpkin has boiled down quite nicely. So what I'm going to do now, you can see it's come down quite a lot, and it's soft. See, like that. Cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, and please understand I'm not the most dainty creature, but I'm going to attempt to beautifully strain this out of this hot pot into a plastic bowl, because that's how we roll. So just pop it through a colander. Ow! Oops. Oh shit. Okay. Do a little bit better. Preferably.
What are you doing?
I'm straining. Oh shit. I'm straining my stuff. No. Okay, stop moving. Okay, so as you're straining, you're going to just give it a bit of a stir. And let all this water drain off. You can see I'm reserving the water, and what I like to do with that is I'll do a bit of a veggie stock with it. Pop it into a soup or something like that. So we're trying to get, as you can see as I'm moving the pumpkin around, you can see it's kind of smushing up, which is exactly what we want. And the water is draining. So what I'll do is I'll leave it here. It'll cool down. But it'll give me time to wipe the counter off. And see, it'll drain the water all nicely. Okay, so what we now going to do, you can see a little bit of time has gone by and it did actually drain. So now we are going to dish it into a separate bowl. Normally I'd chuck it back in the pot that it was originally in. I'm not going to do that today because I actually have my second batch of pumpkin going. So only once I've done the second batch am I going to show you the dehydrator bit, but I'll show you this, and next time you see me I'll have an abnormally large amount of pumpkin. So there you go. Now it depends on what you're planning on doing with your pumpkin powder, what you are actually going to do with this. You can see there's a little bit of liquid, which if we wanted to we could pour off. but as I said, she's going into the dehydrator anyway. So what you could do from here, if you're planning on reconstituting this into pumpkin for a sort of meal, and you're just wanting to do this for shelf stability or what have you, then you can add, I don't know, your cinnamon and sugars the way my mum always used to do it. And if you are planning on using it as a base flavoring, for example, then you can do what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of salt and pepper, so that in the summer months when I have no pumpkin, I can still have pumpkin flavor. And we'll at some point make a recipe for sugar cookies using some of our pumpkin powder, just to give it a rich taste. You can also add some pumpkin spice into it. It's not a huge thing here in South Africa. I don't even think I've seen it on the shelves, but here anywhere else, add some pumpkin spice in. You could use it as a pie filling, and of course at this stage you could also bag it up and freeze it exactly as it is. We're just going to add some pepper. I of course left the lid on purpose, you see, just to demonstrate what not to do. Remember, we started out with 2.2 kilograms of pumpkin, so it wants more salt and pepper than you would think. So there we go. I also like adding salt or sugar into it as a bit of a preservative. Shake it up. What is that song? You're out of touch, babe. I'm going out of my mind. Oh, it's Roxy. That's what it is. What a fabulous band they were. Love them. So you can also just, dump the rest of your salt in. That needs to be filled up again. And there we have it, ready for the dehydrator. So as soon as my next batch is all made up, then we will show you how to dehydrate. Okay, so here we are a little bit later, and now what we are needing to do is dehydrate our pumpkin. Sorry, my glass of wine down. Right, so here's my, hey now? Pumpkin. I've got the peanut gallery in the background. Okay, so here's my dehydrator. This is what a standard dehydrator tray looks like. I just use these little pieces of parchment paper because obviously it will fall through the little flakies, the little holes, the holes. So now we are going to spoon it on. You can see I'm leaving little gaps here because I do need to flatten it out. You don't want this to be very thick. Maybe not so thin. And you want to get it as big as you can. If there are a couple of lumps and bumps in there, it's alright. Okay. Okay, and here we go. That's it. The big thing is try and get it as even as you possibly can. I suspect I'm probably going to have to do this in 2 batches.
Self-reliant, this girl
pop the lid. Next time you see it, it'll be dehydrated and brown. See you in a few days. Oh, the rest of this, almost forgot, because I did tell you I'm going to have a ridiculous amount. So the rest of it, I'm going to pop in the freezer and do another batch when this is done dehydrating. And more than likely I'll pop some of it in a freezer bag for a meal, and I'll probably slap some in a pot, add some cream and call it pumpkin soup. Okay, so now we are finished with our dehydrating. These are how the little pieces come out. I didn't film me taking them out of the dehydrator because they sort of stuck to my parchment paper. So this is what they need to look like. They need to be snappy, not bendy. So you want them to snap like that, so they're nice and dehydrated. They're also delicious. I have children that keep stealing them and eating them as chips, which nothing wrong with that. So from here you could put them in a jar and store them straight up. You could reconstitute this into pumpkin. Shut up. Or you could do what we're going to do is do a blender, take it to a blender and do a powder. So without further ado, here we go. Alright, let's try that again. I'm not sure if my last one came out properly. So here they are, going into the blender. I'm going to spare you the noise of the blender. I'll just put this last bit in. And I'll make the lid. Whoopsie. And here we go. Okay, and there we are done. So let's just watch that fine powder. And ooh, excuse me. So anyway, this is what my first batch looked like. I'll show you. All that's left now for us to do is put it in a jar. Okay, so that is all blended. Here is our jar. And we're putting our last little bit of pumpkin powder. Make sure that you get all of it out. You don't want to waste any. And this is how much we have managed to reduce 2 big pumpkins to. See, there's our very faint little label. Whoops. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe.